Today's episode of Voiced is from Pro Revenge by Rogue Misanthrope and is about a lunch thief wreaking havoc in the office fridge. What clever plan does our hero concoct to serve up a heaping plate of justice? Stay tuned to find out. Subscribe if you enjoy. Nobody likes a lunch thief, and I had one of the most aggressive at my office. There were rumors for a few months leading up to the inciting incident of someone going around and taking people's lunches. Just about every day, someone different would complain that their lunch was missing. It even happened to me once or twice, but I figured, hey, it's a big office. A few people are probably just careless and grab the wrong lunch and are too embarrassed to bring it back. Or someone else packs their lunch and they don't know what's in there, so it's not obvious they have the wrong one, or whatever. Most people just brought brown bags with their names on it anyway, or identical Rubbermaid Tupperware with a little piece of labeled tape on the side. It was easy enough to mix it up. I had accidentally grabbed the wrong lunch once or twice, but I noticed before I got it open. I thought I was just more careful, or even just not as busy as some other people in the building. However, other people weren't as forgiving, and a group made complaints to human resources. They were blown off. Personally, at the time, I thought it was all much ado about nothing. But then it began. My wife enrolled in a French cooking class online, and just about every day I was bringing fancy gourmet leftovers in for lunch. You'd think I was picking up a to-go bag from a Michelin-starred bistro on the way in each morning. She really threw herself into the coursework. There were no problems for about 2 weeks, maybe 3, until one day my lunch went missing. Considering what delicacies I had to look forward to, I was pretty annoyed, but I did a once-over around the break room and didn't see anyone eating my lunch. So I figured someone grabbed my bag by accident earlier, saw how good things looked, and realizing it was their lucky day, didn't bring it back to the fridge. I wrote the mysterious stranger off as a rude person, but accepted the loss and looked forward to dinner that night instead. Next day, I write my name on my lunch in extra bold lettering, jam the bag into the back of the fridge, and feel peace of mind. I get there, come break time, no, it's gone. I was pretty upset, but I figured it was a stroke of bad luck and left it at that. What else could I do? However, on the third day, out of an abundance of caution, I kept my lunch at my desk. A pain, because I had to eat it fairly early in the day to avoid spoilage, but at least I'd know where it was. I got up to take care of some business down the hall, and when I came back, yep, my lunch was gone. Unfortunately, that didn't help me narrow it down much at all, because my desk is centrally located, so everyone is constantly passing by. At that point, there was no possibility of the theft being arbitrary, so I approached human resources and filed a complaint. Their response, practically verbatim, was, "Employees' lunches are their personal property, and the company is not responsible for lost or stolen personal items." The following day, my wife packed a cream-based soup that really had to be refrigerated. I was passing by the break room to check on my lunch practically every 5 minutes. Somehow, it still managed to disappear. I was irate at this point and returned to human resources and really blew my top. The best they could do was send a memo around about remembering to check the name on your lunch when you remove it from the fridge. But they made very clear that it was a routine memo and in no way related to my complaints, which were not their jurisdiction, so not an admission of responsibility, because my lunch was my own personal problem. The only suitable alternative to packing a lunch available in the building are these wretched shrink-wrapped ham and cheese sandwiches from a vending machine. They have been marinating in the heat for who knows how long, and the bread is as stale as corkboard, and the meat is rancid, and there is gluey mayo smushed into the center. It is a relic of the old office tenants, I am pretty sure. I vented daily to my wife, but her only idea was to start bringing a regular sandwich and apple again to dissuade the thief and get him to move on to other lunches. So, determined to prevent this lowlife from downgrading the quality of my lunch, I hatched an elaborate plan. Then the pandemic hit, and I forgot all about this whole saga. I worked remotely for months and months. Then we returned, and after all that had happened globally, this was the last thing on my mind. But I got to the break room the first day back, frustrated from having to wear a button-up and tie after months of working in pajamas, sore from my desk chair, and exhausted from small talk, only to find my lunch was gone. This was a particularly sore point because my wife and I divorced between my last lunch and work and the present one, so I did not appreciate being reminded of any past threads involving her. I pretty much flew into a blind rage at that point, especially seeing that stupid, worthless memo about checking the lunch bag names posted in the break room, feeling so helpless and so hungry and so alone as it was me and my lunch against the world. I stormed out and was determined to return the next day with a plan. So I came in the following day with an empty lunch bag, and I checked closely to be sure no one was watching, and I switched the contents of the human resources person's lunch bag into my bag, so now their lunch appeared to be my lunch. They had packed a regular brown bag, so I just discarded that, and I left, and I waited. I knew this was a pretty big gamble because it was contingent on the theory that the thief was avoiding me while having lunch, but not wary of anyone else. So, they would eat out in the open if there were no risk of bumping into me. So I made a big show of going around the office announcing that I was headed out for a meeting and I wouldn't be back until at least 3 p.m. I even went to the trouble of moving my car out of the lot to a space 2 streets over, where I then sat in my car and worked remotely for several hours before sneaking into the building up the back stairway. I then sat in the stairwell just outside the break room where you can hear chatter but can't be seen, and after about 20 to 30 minutes of waiting, I heard it. The sweetest sound I'll ever hear in the office. "What the heck, Kyle? That's my lunch." "Lunch thief." "Nah, it's not your name on the bag. Give me that." I'm assuming grabs bag and sees my name. "Yeah, let's head to my office for a chat." The human resources representative later called me in as well and said they were aware of my break room hijinks, but it was obvious that the point still came across loud and clear. They warned me that it was a violation of policy to move another employee's lunch. It took every ounce of self-control for me to keep from retorting. I thought our lunches were our personal property, and the company was not responsible for them being lost or stolen. They informed me they had located the thief and things would be handled accordingly. But better than whatever write-up they might be able to issue Kyle, his reveal as the lunch thief occurred in front of the whole break room, so word quickly spread as to who had been stealing everyone's lunches earlier last year, and he is now the office pariah. He was in line for a promotion. The promotion is indefinitely off the table, and I also earned brownie points for exposing him, though more than I am satisfied with are being attributed to human resources. At the end of the day, though, I didn't do this for credit or even the sweet, sweet, sweet revenge. I did it to get my lunches back. Wow, what a whirlwind of lunchtime drama. It's crazy how something as simple as lunch can spark such a bizarre heist saga. I mean, who knew an office break room could turn into a scene straight out of a detective movie? I love how you took matters into your own hands. I can almost taste the sweet revenge. But let's be real, who comes to work and thinks they can just snack away on someone else's gourmet leftovers? That's a snack attack of epic proportions. So, are we all team Operation Lunch Theft Exposer now? I want to hear your thoughts. Have you ever had a lunch thief at your workplace? Drop your stories in the comments below. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Voiced. If you enjoyed daily high-quality stories, please like and subscribe to show your support.